I was completely and utterly lost to gambling for such a long period of time. If you can relate to this, if you're stuck, if you're struggling with problem gambling, I got you on this channel. Stay with me. My name is Matt. I'm a compulsive gambler in recovery, and I like to think of myself as your mind and movement mentor here to help you. So today for me is 7 months without gambling, which I guess feels pretty good. For context, I have gambled for 4 weeks in what is now about the last 19 months, or 18 months. So had a period of 10 months without, 4 weeks of lunacy. I regret to say back in October of a relapse. And then since 1st of November, no gambling to report. Today's the 1st of June. So today I want to talk about something that has kind of been on my mind a little bit, because when you're in the fog of gambling, I think you can sell yourself on the idea of recovery being a good idea for you, which of course it is. And you can almost go too far with that. And let me explain. I think this is what I did. I think that I thought when I stopped gambling, all of my problems would completely disappear. And here I am 7 months without gambling. And I think what can be challenging is I still have a lot of problems that I had back then that remind me of the gambling world. I still run my own business, so I have cash flow challenges. I still have periods where maybe I buy something I shouldn't do on a dopamine binge of ADHD excitement. And then I'm maybe a little bit short of cash and I'm playing kind of catch up. And it's nowhere near what it was like back when I was gambling. But I kind of almost feel on some level frustrated that I've still got challenges and that I've still got problems, which of course is foolish because that is just life. That is just life. But it almost, I feel myself going into this headspace from time to time of, I haven't gambled for 7 months, so why isn't life perfect? And I think it's going to take some time for this to kind of reconcile with me, because I think if I'm not careful, you can kind of teeter on the edge of the naivety that life should be perfect. And then the addiction can pull you back in. And that's what I'm hyper conscious of. I think in some instances, when you are in the depths of gambling, you want to hold on to recovery like a lifeboat and be like, that will completely save me. That will change everything for me. And of course it does, in the sense that you're not causing further problems or further challenges for yourselves by gambling. And in some ways, the delusion of all your problems disappearing is a good thing, because that will help you buy into recovery. That will stop you being nihilistic of thinking like, nothing can work for me, life's going to be shit forever, I may as well carry on gambling. But I just kind of wanted to, this is a very nuanced, all over the place video, as some of the ones I do are. But it's, for me, I feel like it's important to acknowledge that, because on one hand, I want to give myself a bit of a pat on the back, because 7 months is not a small amount of time. There was a time last October where I was straight back into the fog, almost immediately of placing the first bet on the 1st of October. I was right back into completely thinking about football scores immediately, checking results, checking form, checking statistics, looking at what games are coming on. If there wasn't top league games already, thinking about League Two, things that I didn't have remote interest in, just because it hit me straight back at it after what was 10 months without. On the 1st of October, by the 2nd or 3rd, I was right back in the madness already. And, that is just so incredibly worrying as a compulsive gambler, and something that you may be able to relate to. And now I kind of feel like, well, why isn't life just a bed of roses? Why aren't I just completely mentally sound? Why don't I have zero financial difficulty? Why don't I just have absolute peace of mind? And it's kind of, it's just kind of funny because that's the way the brain works, I guess, a bit with the negativity bias. They say, you know, as you get more successful, you just get a higher quality form of problem. You're never going to get around there being no problems. You just get higher quality problems. And I suppose to an extent, that's what I'm experiencing. But it is chalk and cheese. I feel like I've got more energy every day. I feel like there's more bandwidth. I feel like I've got scope to think about what direction I want to take my life in. I've watched a fair bit of sport over the last 7 months, definitely not anywhere near as much as I would watch if I was in the depths of the darkness. I haven't been to a live football match, where often I would go quite regularly. I'd go to watch either Reading or watch Brentford. And I've not done that by design. I've purposely, you know, not gone for that because I don't want maybe some of those feelings to come up. Will I do that forever? Probably not. I'd like to think there's a place that I can get to where I can go. I suppose I could put an arbitrary number on the recovery and say that's after 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. I don't know. I will probably play that by ear, so to speak. But yeah, a bit of a personal update today. Pleased with the 7 months. So I don't think that's to be kind of glossed over. I think, you know, in life, you do have to stop and smell the roses from time to time. Otherwise, you just fall into that always striving, never arriving kind of paradigm, which I don't think helps anyone. And I think I could easily sit here and say, why isn't it 17 months? Why isn't it 70 months? But it is very much kind of one day at a time. And I feel so far removed from any kind of gambling thoughts or wants, you know, but I really genuinely felt like this last year, and I felt like this probably up until August, September time, before relapsing on the 1st of October. So, you know, I heed warning to what is such a cunning, baffling and powerful disease. Shorter video today, but personal update. And I want to say, if anyone can relate to these kind of topics, please follow the channel. I do new videos every week. Feel free to comment with your experience. I respond to all of the comments. Reach out to me personally by message. I'd love to help you if it's some wisdom I can share. I always try to say that I make these videos for a younger version of myself. Would he have listened? I don't know, but I would love this kind of abstract content on addiction and the life of a compulsive gambler to have been in my access, and it might have just helped my life and made it just that bit better, and I hope to do that for someone else. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video very, very soon.